Hey, what's up guys? Will Gove here for GSM Arena, and welcome to our head-to-head series. Today we're going to look at two of the biggest Android flagships around, the Google Pixel 10 Pro XL and the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. The Pixel 10 Pro XL packs the latest features that Google has to offer, while the S25 Ultra brings the best from Samsung, at least until the new generation comes out. So let's compare our review findings head-to-head and see which of these two flagship phones is right for you. And as always, you can find links to their extensive full reviews down below. The Pixel 10 Pro XL and the Galaxy S25 Ultra are Android flagships that actually share many features, but there are quite a few differences as well. These are large phones and actually about the same size. The Pixel is the heavier one though, by about 15 grams. While the two phones have a back made of Gorilla Glass Victus 2, the Galaxy has a titanium frame, while the Pixel's is aluminum. You get the same ingress protection either way, rated at IP68 against dust and submersion in water. The Pixel's display is a 6.8-inch OLED with a high resolution, a 120Hz refresh rate, and again Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on top. The display of the S25 Ultra is protected by Gorilla Armor 2 glass, and is slightly larger at 6.9 inches. Both screens have great performance. They actually have about the same resolution, and have support for HDR10+ video playback. Thanks to the LTPO tech, the refresh rate on either phone is extra adaptive, dialing down as low as 1 Hz when the phones are idling to save some energy. The Pixel 10 Pro XL has the advantage in brightness though. We measured it at over 2300 nits in auto mode, while the S25 Ultra maxed out at around 1400 nits. That's not to say that the Galaxy is bad with sunlight legibility. Not at all, and it even has a special anti-reflective coating, which helps reduce glare out in the sun. Also, the S25 Ultra is the one that has stylus support, and this brings a bunch of extra functionality that you wouldn't get on the Pixel. For audio, both of these phones have stereo speaker setups with very good loudness. While the audio quality is solid either way, the Galaxy's has a bit deeper bass. Let's listen to compare.
I should just let them all go when life seems impossible. Look from every angle, change just one little thing. When life feels intolerable, find your dream.
You can wake up and unlock either phone with an under-display ultrasonic fingerprint reader. And you get the same storage options either way, 256 or 512 gigs, or a whole terabyte on board. The Pixel 10 Pro XL runs on stock Android 16, and as a Pixel phone, you get the Android experience as Google intended. The S25 Ultra's software interface is again Android 16, but with Samsung's One UI 8 on top. This means that the visuals and features have a different look and feel. But when it comes to AI-based features, the offerings from both manufacturers are largely the same, having been developed in collaboration between the two companies. Still, you can encounter a feature here or there which is specific to the Pixel or the Galaxy. And for software support, both manufacturers promise 7 years of updates to their flagship phones. Now let's talk about the chipset, which is a major difference between these two phones. The Pixel 10 Pro XL uses a Google-produced Tensor G5 chipset. The Tensor chips have never been chart toppers, and this is true for the new one too. Meanwhile, the S25 Ultra uses a Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is the top Qualcomm chipset for 2025 era flagships. In benchmarks, the Pixel is clearly outclassed by the S25 Ultra. If you need to have plenty of power under the hood for something like heavy gaming, this is an important consideration. And it's not like the Pixel, having lower peak performance, is any better at sustained performance over time. Both of these flagships demonstrated heavy thermal throttling in our stress tests. But with all that said, outside of the tests, the Pixel does run smoothly and feels snappy in your everyday use. On to battery life, the Pixel 10 Pro XL has a larger battery at 5200 mAh versus 5000 on the S25 Ultra. But despite that, the Galaxy has the better battery life, scoring a nearly 15-hour active use score in our tests versus 12.5 hours from the Pixel. The Galaxy charges considerably faster too, both in a half hour of wired charging, and when charging to full. Both phones support magnetic Qi 2 wireless charging, but you would need to use a magnetic case to enable this on the Galaxy, while the Pixel has the magnets built in. Now we're onto the cameras, and the Pixel 10 Pro XL has 3 on the back, a main cam, a 5x telephoto zoom, and an ultrawide. Meanwhile, the S25 Ultra has 4 cameras on the back. There's an extra 3x zoom camera. And notably, the main camera is higher res than the Pixels at 200 megapixels. The daylight photos coming from both flagships are great. They have a similar level of detail and dynamic range. But they take different approaches to exposure metering, with the Pixel always protecting the highlights better. It also had the better corner sharpness of the two, but we generally think the Galaxy had the more accurate color rendition. At 3x zoom, we were quite surprised to see how well the Pixel could hold its own against the Galaxy's dedicated 3x optical zoom camera. Especially indoors, the Pixel was somehow able to capture nicer photos than the Galaxy's telephoto cam. Both phones pack 5x telephoto cameras, and these shots are superb from either one. But the Galaxy has a slight edge in 5x zoom, with a wider dynamic range and a more natural rendition of grass and foliage. However, the level of detail is the same. And indoors, the Galaxy's darker aperture allows some noise to come through, even in good light. The 10x zoom photos look good from both devices, but the Galaxy has a nicer rendition of the fine detail. When shooting with the ultrawide, the two phones offer similar dynamic range, but the Pixel's detail is a tad sharper. The Galaxy has more natural colors though, and indoors it's better in noise reduction and intricate detail. Moving on to low light shooting, and the main camera of the Pixel does a better job here than the one on the S25 Ultra. The Pixel has better detail and more saturated colors. Enabling night mode on the S25 Ultra brings it closer to the Pixel's output, but even then it can't quite match the Pixel's rendition of detail. At 3x zoom, the Pixel continues to surprise us with its great performance even after dark. Only with night mode enabled does the Galaxy's 3x zoom camera manage to match the Pixel. The 5x telephoto cameras on both phones do a good job at night. The Galaxy's output is a bit noisier and slightly darker. But with night mode on, the S25 Ultra's 5x zoom saves cleaner and more detailed photos than the Pixel. With the ultra-wide cameras at night, both detail and noise performance are comparable between the two phones, but the dynamic range is wider on the Galaxy. The Pixel 10 Pro XL has a 10 megapixel selfie camera, while the S25 Ultra's is 12 megapixels. Both produce good selfies. However, the Pixel has wider dynamic range, and it has a wider field of view as well, allowing you to fit more into the frame. And here's a look at 4K selfie videos taken with either phone. In general, the Galaxy S25 Ultra's main cam does a better job on recording in broad daylight. This is also true when it comes to zooming. The only time when the Pixel did better was when taking ultra-wide videos. They came out more detailed and sharper. But that advantage didn't carry over to the nighttime recording. The Pixel manages to save face with its main cam videos, but it's all downhill from there. The Pixel won't even use its telephoto cam in these conditions, resorting to a digital zoom. So there you have it guys, Google's recent flagship versus the top phone from Samsung. So who comes out on top? Both phones are large and have a premium display, good speakers, and a cutting-edge software experience with lots of AI features. The cameras are quite versatile either way as well. The Pixel 10 Pro XL has the brighter display and built-in magnets for accessories and wireless charging. Selfies are wider, and in general, the Pixel is able to trade blows with the Galaxy when it comes to photo quality, even though the Pixel has one less camera. The S25 Ultra, on the other hand, has a screen with stylus support and an anti-reflective coating. It has a more powerful chipset. The battery life is longer, and the charging is faster. Its cameras have the advantage when recording videos. And the S25 Ultra is the less expensive phone. So in the end, it looks like the Galaxy comes out ahead. Not only does it have plenty of advantages over the Pixel, but it can save you some cash too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.